Good evening. What's up, Mr. B? Welcome on in. Uh, I slept most of the day. So, yeah, there's that. Um, so I got up to, you could say I'm just shy of like 150 mods, doing my own kind of thing. I tested a few things, the other day. Mainly, weather. I was using Azurite, um, which now looking at it, I gotta say it's not what I was expecting. And I've used this with Culminated, but we're going to get rid of that today. So, a couple things we'll get into. I don't know if I have anything to. Yeah, I have Obsidian downloaded. Um, I have two versions of Ominous. I wanted to go back to this one specifically. We just make sure everything's looking good on the other end there. It seems to be. If I expand this out, let's see. Yeah, I changed the resolution. No, it's definitely not. Okay. It's absolutely not. Thank you, OBS, for that. Which I can't change now because I'm in here, right? What's under video? Yeah, it bumped my. I changed this to 1920 by 1080. It's the resolution I have, and it reverted it back to 1280 by 720. Huh? No idea why. All right, it is what it is. We will make do. What are we doing? So Ominous got an update a couple months ago, end of September, to version 3, which is all right. It's okay. It's not bad. Um, Previously I was using this one 2.6, and thankfully I saved a copy of this because with the archive system, yeah, we can't unless you have the URL direct link or whatever, you can't get to the other one. So there was 2.5. Um, it is what it is. So I have both of these downloaded. Um, let's see. Yeah, 2.6 is here. This should be 3. Version 3. Okay. So I deleted everything out of my folder for that, except for the binaries, of course, D3, D11, and D3 decompiler. Um, the regular folders we kept out. We're going to look at 3.0 first, which is this one. I've used this before. I just want to see. We're going to go with obviously the full quality. When testing an ENB, never use like a lesser quality of it. Grab the full thing because you can turn things off. It's a lot easier to turn a couple things off with the full as opposed to the opposite, using like a performance copy or performance version and then turning things on, even if it's the same folders. So we'll grab all these. I have a basic setup right now. Um, but I want to get Obsidian Weathers put in because that's what this mod is for, not for Azure, right? Don't unpack the BSA, thank you. And you'll see I also deactivated Obsidian Mountain Fogs because it comes with Obsidian Weathers. Most of you know this. Um, ENB helper is in there, which it needs, and the particle patch is also in there. I have base stuff, so like static mesh, noble, the 2K version, ruins clutter, BDS, and then I have a couple of miscellaneous things like North Shores, Soul Cairn HD, Dawnguard Landscape, and Solstheim. I don't believe are on Nexus anymore, or they are hidden. Yeah, they are not found. I have copies of these, which I will not be handing out. They are fantastic mods. If you didn't get a chance to get them, you are SOL. I'm sure you could find them in the Wayback Machine, possibly, but I believe both are by the same author and they are no longer found. So, yeah, ones I typically use all the time. So this is what? This is 3.0, right? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Other thing I was going to change is Lux. for interior lighting. I want to go back to ELFX. So we're going to need this one, we're going to need this one, and we're going to need ELFX fixes. Fist, right? So the official mod. And I was looking at it too, and I was installing Lux. If you look here, I don't know. Here, let me show you what was there. This is just what I had so far. These right here. And this isn't even anything with all the rest of the patches. And I had to consider, I have Legacy in here. You'll see I have some plugins deactivated. But if I go to my mod index up at the top, it puts them all in a nice order so that when you get to the mod that you're installing, go to your mod index, have it pointing up obviously, and just activate the plugin there. It actually disappears from here. It'll get a little check mark, it'll move up, and then it'll disappear. Then you can switch right back to your priority, which is the one that it's normally at, and do it that way. Hey Lex, welcome in. So yeah, so we're gonna take we're gonna install ELFX. So Lex, while I have you here, I just want to show you. Right before I did this, I put my resolution both to 1920 by 1080, which I think is max here. And then when I went live, it just clipped me back to 1280 by 720 for whatever reason. And I think yesterday's it said like 648 or some shit. So I have no idea how it automatically bumped me down. But if I go full screen, it's not there. You can see it's capturing the whole screen, but it's not. So I'll have to look at that later to see how I can fix that. Don't know how it did that, but you know. All right, let's see here. And I'm probably going to take this out of here before I install this. I'm probably going to take this out of the purple. I'm going to put the orange mode back on, so it was a little bit easier for me to see. Not that it's going to matter, but the orange and the green is a better contrast. The Dr. Dono, welcome in. So my native resolution's 1440, but I do everything in 1080. So I have all my stuff set up for 1080. So like when I'm gaming, it's at 1080. I don't go any higher. Like with Skyrim, there's really no need to go any higher than 1920 by 1080. The frames you lose between going to like 1440 is anywhere between like 15 to 20 or 10 to 20, depending on your hardware. And I don't think Skyrim needs 1440. If you're running an ENB and stuff like that, it's not noticeable to the eye. It's like a lot of those 2K versus 4K textures. You're really not going to notice them if they're good quality. Now, if you're running a 4K monitor or something like that, and obviously all your textures are 4K, yeah, it's going to look a little bit better, but not for this game, not for a 10-year-old game. So, and Fenrir, welcome in. So yeah, we'll disable Lux. I'm gonna add the enhancer for now, and we're not gonna touch anything else. No exterior module, no weathers, because this is the weather module, and I don't want the enhanced ice. I'm gonna do that on my own. Also, just like to mention this now, I'm probably not gonna go for too long, considering it's already 9:30 for me and I'm starting late. It was kind of a rough full 24 hours for me. My sleep is like way off. I slept like most of the day. I thought I was gonna take like a nice 3-hour nap like early this afternoon, like around noon, and it turned into an all-day thing. So I probably won't go for too long, depending on who's in here and who's streaming. Maybe we'll go raid somebody and I'll hang out in their stream for a little bit. But figured I would mention that now. But for streaming, you put your screen size at the top, and then put. No, see, I didn't do that. Here, hold on. Let me cancel this out because I'll do that. Let me go back in here. You could see this, right? So I set it to. So this was always at 1920 by 1080, and I put the output scale to match. Now You see that it reverted to 1280 by 720. I have no idea how it did this because I didn't set it to this. When I went live and came back in and checked it, this is what it's showing me. So how it went back to 1280 by, and it wasn't even set to 1280 by 720 for the output resolution, the scaled. It was set to 1920 by 1080, and then from yesterday when I was checking it, somebody mentioned, oh, you're only streaming at 648. It was like some really weird number. Use custom. Ah, I've never used. Oh, let's see. Can I change it from here? Let's see. I wonder if it'll apply during the middle. Done. See if that makes any change. I'm gonna go back in here to check out the video. Alright, yeah, so it's staying there. I might have to restart, but let's see. If I go full screen with Mod Organizer, let's just see what it does. It looks like it's still cutting off. So that's probably something I have to, I'd have to like shut down stream and then do it again, right? Yeah, couldn't figure that out for the life of me. I don't get on like the technical side of doing stuff. I had it all set up where it was fine. But when I was doing this on YouTube, you basically just input one setting and it auto detects everything for you. That was one of the plus sides of doing it over there. Using the same Streamlabs. That hasn't changed. So anyway, ELFX. So yeah, we're gonna take Lux out. We're gonna grab the enhancer. SMIM meshes and SMIM lanterns, yes. No patches for the homes, anything like that, because we don't need them. No candle smoke, no torches, because other mods later will handle those. Install that. So you can see what Lux has right here. Disable that, turn that on. I'm going to keep it in here for right now. Well, here, we'll put up at the top. I'll keep it in here, but just keep it deactivated for right now, just like I have Azurite Weathers with Obsidian Mountain Fogs, because I was using this combo here. But we're going to go back to Obsidian, because I want to test both versions of Ominous again. It's been a while since I've used the differences between 2.6. I remember there being something about the newest version 3.0 that I, for whatever reason, just didn't like. The SMIM patch for ELFX, we'll grab that. And we'll grab the fixes as well that WizKid did. Cool. And in that order, I believe. Fixes. We don't have Sounds of Skyrim. EMB. Water reflection for EMB users. Yeah, we'll grab that. Okay, cool. So that's that. The EMB is already installed. We have version 3. I want to test the new version just to see what there was about it that I didn't like. Also, I know I said I was going to run the differences between the scripts. So as you can see, I've got the Ruddy ES88 ESLFI script versus what you would normally find in SSE Edit, the apply script. That's directly from there. So let me minimize this. I'll throw this over here so it's a little more visible. Let me just sort with loot real quick. It kind of sucks now that I'm working off this side of the screen. And ELFX is going to give me another warning. I think it's got ITMs, but you have to clean that one manually. Yeah, I don't have a patch for Falscar and BDS. That gets taken care of later. And of course, Better Dynamics. No, this one's obsolete, but I'm not using the version 3. I'm using the 2.11. So, anything else? Probably nothing else. Obscures. Yeah, don't worry about this for now. So the Ready script, it's pretty simple. Add it as an executable. It's on Nexus. You have to add the file into your, I think I showed this before, the SSE edit folder. You're going to want to add it right into this because it comes with an edit scripts folder that's just going to overwrite, and it's going to add whatever's in that folder into here, and it's going to come with the bat file here, and this is the one that you want to run. So you're going to add this here as the executable, which is, I've done that already. You don't have to put any arguments in here. Just make sure the binary is pointing to that. Nothing started, no arguments, you know. And I don't even use the icon, nor do I throw it up here on the shortcuts. Cutting right hand. Yeah, Jeff. There's an algorithm? Oh my god. I mean, I could, but that defeats the point. I went through it yesterday, and it was fine. Now I know to use custom. So we'll do the Ruddy script first, the bat file. It's basically a command window. So when you run it, the command window is going to pop up like this. As I remember right, the argument would here be SSE. So, and then it's going to prompt you to just press any key to continue. And then it's going to load Xedit up for you. Make sure that it's normal like this. Now I have a couple things that they're not enabled yet. Don't enable everything here, because if you have stuff that's disabled, you don't want to mess with it until you decide to enable it. These are patches for mods that are later on. So they're not being used now. They will be used later. Some of them may be taken out, and the script isn't going to affect that whatsoever. You can see like some from obscures because they don't have weapons, armor, clothing, clutter, or the clothing extension. Moral Ultimate, 3D NPCs, interesting NPCs. They don't have any of that stuff in yet. So just make sure the stuff that is loaded is loaded. Just hit OK. This runs really quick. It auto detects everything that can potentially be flagged. So you can see 3 files popped up. 2 are from the race menu mod, because race menu gives you the race menu ESP and the race menu plugin. Race menu does not get ESL'd. I don't care what anybody says. Don't ESL either of the race menu mods. Now all Thieves Guild jobs concurrently can be. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the other one versus this one to show you the difference, how it runs, and how you have a little more control over, well, I guess both of these, to be fair. So I'm going to cancel this out, but that's how quick that script runs. That it runs on your whole setup. So whether you're, what am I at here? Jeez, 151 mods, I think, or 1500 mods, it runs about the same speed. It'll auto-detect everything pretty much instantly. Anything that it detects will show up in this little box here, and then if you want to untick it, you can, right? But like I said, I'm gonna cancel this just to show you the other one, to show you the normal one. Because we didn't do anything, we can close this. There's really nothing to save. We do get the ESLify garbage and edit cache in there. The stuff could just be deleted safely. The normal one is run through SSE edit itself. It is an apply script. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do the exact same thing. We're going to manually load up everything, and now this is going to take just a little bit to run. My Dynalad now takes just over 2 hours. Oh my god, Lex. I feel for you, dude. That's like, I don't ever remember Dindulad taking me that long. And doing like the 3D stuff, unless you have like a seriously custom tree setup, like you've gone into, and like aside from doing like the basic 3D LODs, you've gone into each tree LOD setting and manually changed them that way. Because even on I forget who was running it. Somebody was running it, and they had like lower specs, like way lower specs than what you told me you have. And theirs, I think, took 45 minutes to an hour. That's crazy. I put all of Mari's flowers. But yeah, Mari's stuff is great. Mari's is going to be going in this list. I haven't quite gotten there yet. You can see it's still working. Let me see if I can minimize this. Can I? Yeah. I've only gotten up to like just lighting stuff, and only thing in there starting today was Lux. The problem with testing Lux is that you want to enable a lot of the patches early and then deactivate them to test. The problem is remembering to go back in uh, to reactivate the patches later. And there are a ton of patches for this. Now, I may use it, I may not, I'm not sure. Um, it really depends on, well, it's going to depend on the EMB. Okay. Unofficial. None of this matters here. You don't have to select anything. Okay. So background loader finished. You don't you could click here Control A to select them all. You don't need to. You could just select any plugin here. It doesn't matter because you're right click and applying the script, right? So because this script is going to run on everything that's here anyway. So it's right click, apply script, and then when you get the script here, it's going to be this one here. Find ESP plugins which could be turned to ESL. Now there's another one underneath it that's find. It just says find plugins which can be turned to ESL. That's not the one you want. You want find ESP plugins. Make sure it's the top one. And this comes directly with any version of Xedit. Always run the newest version of whatever tool is being used here. So and we're just gonna hit OK, and you're gonna see it's gonna start working here. You'll notice it's gonna be a little bit longer than the other one. The nice thing is that you're going to be directly changing them from the file header. You can see it's done already. So we don't have a lot loaded, but you can see it does two things here. It tells you, like here you can see race menu shows up because that was one that the ready script, and it can be safely flagged, or so it says. I'm using this as an example. It's a bad example. Let's go to the All Thieves Guild job. Can be turned to ESL by adding the ESL flag and the TES for header. So to do that, you can scroll here and find it, right? So All Thieves Guild jobs here. You could, do the filter. So if you type in like All Thieves Guild jobs, there it would be, right? And then all it is you just left click on the file header, record flags. Now I actually changed my arguments in SSC edit. So I put in the I know what I'm doing. So now I'm not going to get a warning. Just to compare the difference between yesterday's and today's. So you could do one of two things here. You could double left click, or you can right click and hit edit. Right, it'll bring it up. And then you just tick the ESL box, right? Or you could double left click in here, and it's a little bit different. This was the one I actually used. I double left click. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to right click and hit edit because there may be a flag here already. So if you're like, for example, SkyUI, it'll already be flagged as an ESP and there's nothing else. So you would have to go in here and you would have to, edit. So we'll just hit ESL, see how it changes. And then if you back out to go back here, it'll do that. And then you see that it's been edited. And that's the only one we want, I think, because the only other thing was race menu, and race menu does not get, there's the two plugins from race menu. Now, do not ESL these. I can't stress that enough. People already have enough issues with the race menu mod without having to do this. But we are going to do All Thieves Guild job. We already did this one. The other thing you'll notice is that, and I never do this because I really haven't done it yet before, but you'll see the other warning here. So say for Obsidian Weathers, can be turned to ESL by compacting the form IDs first, then adding the ESL flag. If you know what you're doing, by all means do this. I flat out don't. I tried this. I tried compacting form ID. And it's probably something simple, and it's probably something I should just read up on. But I leave it alone. If I can't just simply put something into an ESL like this, I leave it alone because this is changing records, and that's bad. Don't do that, unless of course you know what you're doing. So anyway, so all it's going to be is just this one down here, but you'll see it, and the longer you go and the more mods you add, the more you'll see, and the script basically runs the same. Save it. I don't ever back up my plugins. And then if I go to, where's All Thieves Guild job? I'll just filter. There. Yep, and I'll see that's it's an ESL. Same location. Nothing else has changed. It's just saved me another plugin slot. So we went from if you look where it says ESM and ESPs, it would have been 40. Now we're down to 39, and then the ESLs at the bottom went from 43 to 44. So, Panicked Monk, Joe, welcome in. So the other thing, what we're gonna do, we have Lux. All right, so Lux is taken off. ELFX is added back in, and we have Obsidian back in. So we'll test version 3 of Ominous. Let me get the Ruddy script out of here, just because I don't want to fuck things up doing that. If you feel like running loot again, you absolutely can. Probably nothing's going to change just by simply flagging it as an ESL. But you see the difference between how much quicker the Ruddy script works. But you also see the limitations. It doesn't give you any other information. Like, it does not tell you. So let's just say something came up that, like race menu, that is a mod that you're not sure if it can just simply be flagged. SkyUI does the same thing, but SkyUI can be flagged as a ESM and an ESL. And the only time you could do that is if you make, and I actually recommend doing this, I recommend making Skyrim.esm the master for SkyUI in SE, and then you'd have to back out of SSE edit, go right back into SSE edit, only load up SkyUI, and then flag it as both an ESM and an ESL. It'll save you a slot, and I think I've already done that with mine. Let's see. Yep, right there. You can see it's a master, but it's kind of like the unofficial patch. Like, the unofficial patch is flagged as an ESM. It's an ESP that's flagged as an ESM, and now SkyUI is as well. I could put in a loot rule to have this load under the high def patch, but this really doesn't matter. Same thing as if the high def patches are above USSEP. Typically, that doesn't matter either. You can create a loot rule to do that, but you don't have to. Oh yeah, absolutely, Lex. Don't flag it as an OPP, because that would be different. We all know what that means. You know me. If you get the reference, you've dated yourself. All right, Ominous version 3. So I'm going to look at this again. Like I said, I just have a basic setup here. This is just basic graphical stuff. Even though I'm at 142 mods, and I keep telling myself we're only going to go to, between 450 max, like with all my gameplay stuff. We're not going to go crazy. I didn't even add any flora. I didn't add anything for weapons and armor. The only the biggest category really is the core stuff, I think. And I have the immersive citizens patch from the process position fix, just because I may add IC in, and I know I will forget to go back and do this later. Wind, welcome in. I'm not gonna say. So what else? Skyrim priority. And I added the spell perk item distributor. Reason for it is that I found. I don't even have Valkyrie installed. There is a patch for this and Valkyrie, which is what I plan on using. I'm gonna move away from Ordinator for a little while, just because I've been using it basically the whole time. I'm not really a fan of Adamant, but I do like Valkyrie. So we're gonna stay with E-Nice stuff for the most part. But all right, let's just get into this because I've been sitting here blabbering, and it'll take a second because I actually took off the other the EMB file, so it's got to generate the compilation here. So, but we'll see. And like I said, guys, I'm not going to be going for too long today just because my sleep is all foobarred. And I meant to take a 3-hour nap, and it turned into like a 9-hour ordeal. I got some notifications. I saw a couple people go live. We're really just going to look at the E&B with the base setup. I'm going to change a couple things in there as well. We'll see how it looks on screen, if it's off-centered or not. I'm also having an issue with the Oblivion of icons, but I'll show you those in a second. Okay, yeah, so that screen looks good. Do we have saves? I have a prisoner save. Got to delete these. New game, always. Get rid of your saves. I know a lot of people just immediately go to the main screen and they'll COC on something. Don't do it. So I'll show you what I mean here. So see the Statue of Mara? And this is a mod that I know I've used before and it worked fine. And I know Wind is using it, or was using it, and it was also working fine. There's no requirements for it, and I don't have anything overriding it that I know of. So I believe it's supposed to be like a hand icon or something like that. Like, let's see here. Yeah. Anyway. What was the other thing I had? So this is with the ELFX and the enhancer. We are going to take off depth of field because I'm not a fan. And then once we get out into the world, I have it locked. Well, all of Fireman stuff I think locks at 59 frames. Once we get out into the world, we'll do the camping in the woods start. We'll adjust it from there. Now this, like I said, this is version 3. Let me get some of these out. And I do have to get the widget mod so I can set up a matter of time. Right now there are no presets. I can't load any user settings because the file access isn't available, and I don't have any presets in there for this. So, but iHUD will get rid of most of the stuff for me. Except for my health bar, which I have to edit the SkyHUD text directly. And you have to edit the SkyHUD text in Horizons UI, because that's the UI I'm using. This is an add-on to Horizons UI for the tween menu. So instead of having like the slim, this is more like a Dear Diary style, but for Horizons. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, there is one out there. If you go to the Horizons UI page, it should be under mods that require this file. So.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin. The woods can be so peaceful this time of year. Good
we should gain. I have experience in here as well. We should gain a level. So, hey, Big Head, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome. Yeah, 325 XP for the start. It's always raining, it seems, when I do this start, for me, personally. Epic testing up. Alright. So yeah. Let's get that out of here. I don't know the rest of the codes, but there we go. So like I said, this is version 3. There was something about this that I just did not care for. I could probably throw the DOF back on. But let's go down. Let's go down to the Guardian Stones. Yeah. I will test. Like what I do is, like, when I do a lot of my testing, I come here, and I know I probably should have got rid of that. We'll adjust the SkyHUD text. I'll show you guys how to do that when I exit the game here. Time 9 in the morning. I also have to go into engine fixes and adjust my the speed for the wait time, because it's been going really slow. All right, so we'll say about 5 p.m. So let's just clear it up entirely, which it is. It's still on there. It's fine. So yeah, so this is version 3. I remember when this came out, I was really, really excited because I thought that we were just going to get an update with 2.6 to the latest binaries, but Fireman wound up making a version 3, and I was super hyped about this. But I remember coming and swapping it out with Ominous. I was running Ominous at the time, and I was just like, "There's something off about it." And oh, the grain effect is something else I like to get rid of. Where is that? It might be under EMB effect. It's, I'm probably staring right at it. Post pass. There it is. Alright, so it's under EMB effect, post pass effects. So the grain, it's going to be hard to tell. If you look at my screen, like right here, you can kind of see the grainy effect. It's running. You could see it against the trees. You could see it against the water. It's probably the best thing. When I disable it, there you go. You can see now it's nice and clear. So we'll save that. Sometimes I run the grain effect. Sometimes I keep it off. And then let me just apply it. We'll get out and we'll test it here. Cool. So there. So this is version 3. Now I remember there were certain things I liked. The sky certainly looked pretty damn good. So with the auroras and the moon. Now I don't have any moon textures. I don't have anything for the sky yet. I'll probably add better moons, maybe. But obviously there's without it. Right? This is just plain obsidian weathers. Right here. With no add-on. And this looks fine as it is with the textures I have. I have nothing for the sky, nothing for the stars, nothing for the moons. And then you throw Ominous 3.0 back on. Let's see later at night. When it gets dark. Around 1 a.m. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so it's clear. I remember it feeling not as ominous, if that makes any sense to anybody. Sea Else is another good place to test. Riften's a pretty good place to test, right outside the stables. I do a lot of my testing here as well, because you get a nice mix of the God Rays and the trees themselves, if you have them added in, which I don't yet. Yeah. Like, it feels flat. I don't know. That's probably the wrong word to use. Here's 5 a.m. Almost 5 a.m. It doesn't feel like the older version to me. You know? Professor Peepo passes the film. No, I turn it off for both versions. The grain effect it's nice to have sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just I don't know, there was just something off about this version to me. But that's what we're going to be doing the testing for, so looks like a little precipitation. Yeah, level up. Let's wait till the daytime. 6, so it's like 7, 8. Alright, so 9 a.m. It definitely doesn't feel... Here, I'll turn it off. So you can obviously see this would be base game with Obsidian. The flare is off. You can obviously tell the difference. Now this is different than like Rudy, or this is different than any other EMB for SE. I haven't seen anybody come close to making anything like this, but again, uh-oh, there looks like they're fighting. Can I wait? Probably the wolves that are around here. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there was something about it that threw me off. And of course, without any other major textures, like I said, I just have my base. So what you're looking at is noble. I don't even have mountains. I don't have trees. Just obsidian. That's it. Alright, so, quit out of that. What was I gonna do? Skyhud text. Um, so Horizons UI should have, let me just make sure it's not being overwritten. Uh, well, here, I'll open it in Explorer. Probably be a little bit easier. Alternate tween menu, for those of you that were curious, is this mod 60315. It just changes it to something similar to what Dear Diary has instead of the normal one. Um, just to show you the difference, where is the tween menu? Right here. So you'd see the normal Horizons looks like this. So I thought it was a nice addition, so I added it in. What are we doing here? Open. Interface, Skyhud text, and it's going to be persistent meters. We're just changing that from 1 to 0 and saving it. That's it. So if you were curious as to why sometimes your magicka and stamina hide, but your health doesn't, this one. Skyhud only. Skyhud's the only other one. I think. Let's do this. Let's take version 3 out. Delete these. And I don't need this. So we have version 2.6 here, which was the latest one. And we're obviously we go full quality with everything. So, what else was I going to change? I was going to do something else, I think. And I forget what that was. Yeah, you can see just basic stuff. I mean, this is super basic. I was going over that. Like I said, I threw in the Dawn Guard and the Soulstem Landscape Overhaul. These are no longer on Nexus. They haven't been for quite some time. I had backup copies saved. I have backups of pretty much everything that I used to always use or I always use. So these can't be found anymore unless you had the old URL link or Wayback Machine or something like that. Hey, Strudel. We just get back to the chat here. What is it, deleting messages? Hold on a second. Or it deleted all of Joe's messages. What happened? What was that? All right, I'm just noticing this now. Link denied. Oh, what were you trying to Oh, that's probably why. That's funny. Streamlabs timed him out. So I put it in. Two things. Okay. So version 2.6. I also have a backup copy of this just because, you never know. I was lucky that this one's still up here because if you go to archive here, I think it's what, 2.5? So there is a previous one, but it's archived, sadly. So I have both versions. I typically keep stuff that I say I always use. What else? I was gonna change something else. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep this short today. These saves can get shot the hell out of here. Like I said, I had Azurite with Culminated in here. I did some testing, some base stuff. This was one that I tested before, and I liked. I forget what there was about it, and I did the exact same thing. I tested Azurite with Culminated with this, and it just nothing. It wasn't doing anything for me. Um, so I took it out. I didn't like the way the night sky looked. The day, I don't know. Something was just off about it. And the last time I used it, I think I was happy with it. Well, at least the last time I tested it. Not to say it's not a good mod, but I think on the mod page even too, it says it's not in a 100% finished state. It's probably the best way to explain it. Anyway, and not that I wanted to go back to Obsidian, but I really wanted to use Ominous, and it's only made for one weather, and I didn't feel like testing it with other ones. So, version 2.6. Nice desktop wallpaper. Thank you. Screenshot from I forget whose play that was. That was from one of my plays. Now I can't remember who. It may have been Merrick's play. I believe that is Cathedral with Loss EMB, which is right up there with my favorite all-around setups. Like no FPS hit whatsoever on close to 1,000 mod setup on full quality. No reshade either, but doesn't need one. The only other thing I think I can compare that to is the mythical cathedral EMB, and then there's cathedral with I forgot Zangdar's edits. There's an EMB, but it's got Zangdar's edits. So yeah, we'll do another new game. The grain should already be off. Let me see. Oh, it's on. Alright, so we'll leave it on for here. Test Nord. Prison
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin. The woods can be so peaceful this time of year.
Let me through, Mara.
Hunting.
Oh, she did, but she'll let me turn right. Okay. Version 2.6. Watch it rain again. Let's see. No rain. You can. All right. So you can immediately see. I can see a big difference. Even in the grain filter itself. Zangder ZMB is heavy on performance. Hey Zanzuki. And Beowulfs, welcome. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll hydrate. I got my tea today. Things are okay. It's, like I said, it's not going to be a long stream today. We're really just doing some EMB testing. Beowulfs, was it you that was asking about the difference between the Ready script and ESLing? Let me just turn my HUD off just completely. It's really all you need. And you can see now nothing's popping up. I could already see, like, so with the grain on, you could absolutely see, and then you can see the flare or the sun glare effect. Absolutely. Let me just make sure that I'm in God mode. We have all the map settings. Yeah. To me it's noticeable. Absolutely noticeable, this older version. And this is, like I said, this is with the grain filter here. Let me do a little bit of adjusting. Let's turn the grain off. So if you guys look at this mountain area right here, you could see the grain almost flickering. You ready? So I can turn it off. There you go. Yeah, this is what I'm more used to. Alright, let's hit up the Guardian Stones. Ninja'd. Oh, mods into yes, yeah. Yeah, I did that at the beginning, but I can show you again real quick because it's not that difficult to do. All right, so let's go to a different time. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to do is go to engine fixes and change the time. So it's not taking me forever to wait. There we go. And let's see if we can get rid of that flare too. I don't like that either. Something that's in there that is under effect. No, it's over here. Um, Maybe it is over there. I forget what it's under. Ambient effect. Those of you that um, do this more often probably know exactly where it's at. Let's see, so grain is in here. I normally never mess with the color. I thought it was over here. Sun rays. Sun glare, here it is, I think. Yeah, so if you look right here, where the bigger cursor is, you can see the glare, right? If I turn it off, there it is. So I'm not going to save it, I'm just going to... Okay. So you can see the color palette at, what time is it here? 6 p.m. Yeah, sun glare, that's what it's called. I get them mixed up all the time. Let's go an hour later. Absolutely. Look at it, like, alright, you can already see in the sky. I can already tell. So it's more crisp. Let's go an hour into the night. There we go. Beautiful. If I turn all the E&B off, you can see this is just obsidian by itself. There you go. Absolutely beautiful. Nighttime, dark, not too dark. You can still see in front of you. You got nice reflection off the water. Let's head over to Riften. Again, we'll go back to the stables and do our test there real quick. And then I will do the ready script, and then we may call it there for the night. And of course, we'll test it. We'll throw back on... we'll throw the grain effect back on. So if you look up here towards the sky, when I enable it here, yeah, you're able to see it. So, let's wait till daytime. Give it about... There we go. So you could definitely see the grain effect here. Iverstead's another good place to test this. So we have a couple added things here. Let's go to Shroud Hearth, because then you're standing on top of the barrow. You can get a good look at. Oh, it's raining. Here we go. Beautiful. I don't have anything for EMB rain yet. I don't have any water mods installed. But you can see that with the grain effect with the rain. I should really learn those codes that Padinsky has. But there's with the EMB off. So this is just what Obsidian would be like, and then obviously if you turn it back on. Like I said, this is my favorite overall EMB. Hands down. There. You can see obviously I don't have anything for water, so you have the water's edge vanilla issue thing going on, you can see. And then we'll turn the grain back off. So if you look at the big cursor there, so like kind of like where the elk is, and the deer right there. Okay. You ready? Just to show you how it's clear. And it really depends on my mood how I play. I sometimes keep the grain filter off. because it looks really nice. Sometimes I turn it on just for added effect. I probably should have saved it because I see it turn back on. Um, there we go. Makes you work for the sun though. Um, if you're a vampire, try to hit it with Oriel's bow. I guess if you're moving, it looks better. Yeah, this is a good place to come and test. You get a little of everything. You get the trees, you get landscape, you get some farmhouse stuff. Um, the Nordic ruin textures for the barrow, and of course water. And you also get your shorelines, or you should have some of your shorelines here if you need to test. Like I said, I don't even have any grass mods in yet. I probably should have added several things, but I didn't. I don't have any trees, so you're looking at vanilla trees, vanilla mountains. But we'll continue to work on this. Yeah, no tree mod yet. Nothing yet. All right, we'll quit out of here. And just because I know I'm gonna need to get rid of these, so we'll pop the saves out. Um, so auto save. Let me delete them from here. Do I have anything else? I didn't take any pictures or nothing yet, so cool. We'll leave that in. This is for version 3. Let me delete that. Do I want any rain text? I may hold on to this for the rain textures. Before I forget engine fixes. Open Explorer and the TOML file. We want regular quick saves to be true. We want the sleep wait time also to be true. And what else do we modify here? Save that. Okay. So the ready script. Now I already did it with. There was only one mod at the time. I'll run it and I'll show you just the difference. Now, the only plugin you're gonna see is gonna be the race menu mod. Don't put race menu as an ESL. The only other one was one of the Thieves Guild mods I think I have in here for like quest editions. All Thieves Guild job concurrently. So you can see that this right here was flagged as an ESL, but let me run the script and I'll show you. So it has to be added as an executable. It's a bat file. So like I said, this goes right into your SSE edit folder. It's going to be in your edit scripts. So the bat is here. There's also an edit scripts folder that comes with it. So just pop it right in here. The bat file will populate here, and anything that's within that edit scripts folder will automatically overwrite in here. So you're fine. But you need the bat. There's no special arguments. Just make sure that the binary points to this, and you're fine. So running it, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up like a command window. Okay, you're just going to type in, what game you're trying to load. Fallout 4, SSE, exit. I don't have an, exit to exit. Just type in SSE, and then it's going to have you just press any other key after you do this to continue. It's going to load up Xedit itself. All your plugins that are currently active will load, so just load them all. It's going to do this really quickly, right? And it's going to auto detect anything that can flat out be ESL'd, and it's going to give you this little box right here. And I don't think I can expand this. So you see how it's got race menu and race menu plugin, right? Now I don't want to ESL these, but before I had underneath this, I had all Thieves Guild job concurrently, and it was checked. All you would do is just hit OK. It auto finds everything for you that fast. That's how quick the script runs. And like I said, it doesn't matter if I have 150 mods here right now, or if you're doing like 1500 mods. It's within a matter of seconds. that it finds everything, and once you hit OK, it will auto run the flag script, and you're done. Okay. But I'm going to cancel out of here because I don't want a flag race menu, so we're going to cancel. And we're just going to exit out because we didn't do anything. And you're going to get your basic BS and overwrite. It's just the ESLifying the cache. So this can get yeeted out of here. If I ever say that again, somebody slap me. As opposed to running the built-in SSC edit script. So when you download the Xedit mod, or tool I should say, by itself, so we're at version 404, it comes with the script already. And what you would do is you would just run SSC edit manually. All the same plugins are here. But this is if you were going to manually run it for any other thing that you were doing. So I'm going to just show you. You can already see the time difference. The Ruddy script would probably be done by now, regardless of your loadout. And it would have already shown you what you can flag. So that's the nice thing about it. The other thing, I guess I would say it's a con, but it's not. Well, it is and it isn't. I don't know. Is it doesn't give you any other information. You can't do anything else with it. It's literally a script meant to do one thing. That's it. The problem is with that is, you can't detect any other information. And if you're not sure if a mod should be flagged as ESL, like let's just say you didn't know that you're really not supposed to flag those two race menu plugins, and you did it accidentally, and then you started playing your game, and then shit got borked, you would be scratching your head, and you wouldn't think, hey, it's because I flagged it as an ESL. All right, maybe some of you would. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, I ran the script and I flagged race menu, blah blah blah. But I guarantee a lot of people would be sitting there scratching their head like, I have no idea. You can see it's still, SSC edit's still working, still building. The nice thing though about doing it manually, and I do it manually often, is to check other records. So this isn't going to matter. You could, like I said, I didn't do it before, but if you wanted to select all for the unofficial patch, you can. You don't need to, because you're running the script and everything here anyway. So once it finishes, it's literally just this left side here. Right click, apply script, and this is the script. There's two of them that look similar, but you want the top one. It's going to say find ESP plugins, which could be turned into ESL. The one underneath it just says find plugins, which could be turned to ESL. So you want the top one. You need the ESP plugins. Just hit OK, and it's going to work for probably a couple seconds. This one's pretty quick, regardless of your size. See, mine's already done. So this gives you all of the information on all your plugins, which is what Ready doesn't do. It doesn't, show you everything and give you additional information. So you could see there's a lot of things here that, like Obsidian, can be turned to ESL by compacting form IDs, then adding the ESL flag, right? I don't ever compact my form IDs. I know I mentioned this at the beginning when I started. If you guys know what you're doing, then you can do it and flag them. Then all of these you could potentially compact the form IDs and flag them as ESL to save some space. I don't ever mess with it. I tried it a couple times and ran into some issues. I tried to look for some tutorial videos on compacting form IDs. At the time, there wasn't a lot of good information out there, and the forums were just basically a shit show. Somebody new comes in, they're asking for help, and they're like, why don't you know it already? That's basically what I got. So I basically told them to fuck off. Reddit was even worse for info. But as you can see, race menu, the two plugins that come with this mod say they could be ESL'd immediately. So if I wanted to, okay, I'll do this as an example. I won't really do it. So you have both the plugins that come with race menu ESP and the race menu plugin. All you do is expand to the file header, right? Which is your record flags right here. Record header. Same thing here. So if this was, say, all Thieves Guild job concurrently, right? I would come over here. You could do one of two things. You could double left click and it'll pop this up, ESM, ESL, and then a bunch of unused. You could flag it, tick it. You can see how it's in ESL now, but I'm going to untick it, right? Or you could do the right click and hit edit. And this is the way I actually recommend doing it if you're not comfortable, right? Now I also did change my settings from yesterday. I added in the argument, I know what I'm doing to SSC edit, so I will not get a warning for this. If I go to edit this and I go to ESL this and I hit OK, it didn't warn me, do you absolutely want to do this? It just automatically did it. So if you're comfortable with that, add that argument in. It saves a little bit of time so you don't get that 3, 2, 1 countdown. Odin, welcome. It should say in the mod, yeah. Most will say, if not on the description page, at least read the first page or two of comments if the mods have them, because I guarantee you, most authors will sometimes sticky that because they forget to add it to the description, but they'll put it on the sticky because it's really a smart idea to go in and read the comments. It doesn't matter if it's a mod you've used like a lot. Somebody may post like an author may not have like a bugs section, so they may just have a basic comment section. So if you needed to do a bug report, you either have to private message the author or leave it in the comments and hope that they, you know, well, hopefully you're respectful when you're making a bug report. Authors don't like to see people saying, "Hey, you made a mistake," but it's helpful anyway. But I don't want to ESL this. I'm going to revert this. So we're going to re-edit this, and we're actually going to change the value to 0, and that's going to put it back to a base ESP. That may have looked confusing, so I'm going to do that again. We'll put it to ESL, right? You can see record flags sorted. I could also double left click here, and I believe remove it like that, and that would put it as an ESP, but no, because see, there's the record flag. All right, hold on. Oh, no, it did. Okay, never mind. Yep, it's not an ESL anymore. I'm so used to hitting edit and then getting the numbers. Like 1 will put it to a light, 0 will put it back to a normal plugin. So, and the same thing here. But you'll notice race menus change. Just this is probably like the worst example I could give you guys. I really wish I didn't flag All Thieves Guild Job because it was the only other mod I had that could have potentially just immediately been flagged. But we're working with what we have. So this is back to a normal plugin. We're just going to make sure to save the changes so that it doesn't. And if I check in mod organizer, race menu is going to have 2 of them, and they are both normal plugins. Yep, that's it. So, but the script, yeah, so Bailiffs, the script itself is really, really handy. ESLify, mod number 42211. It's one file, just you need SSE, obviously. It's a manual download, right? Really easy. Like I said, just put it in the script, into the where you have the exec script, but you need the bat file as well because the bat file is what runs. And then you need to make this into an executable, which is just as easy. You can go to the gears icon, or you can come up to edit and add from file, the plus, right? Go to your mod tools, SSE edit. There it is. Make sure you highlight the bat file. That's the one you want. And then you would hit open, and then you would apply the changes to save it. Hit OK. But that's how quick that file runs. So if you know your plugins, you know which ones. All you need to know is which ones shouldn't be flagged. Like race menu is one that shouldn't be flagged. There's a few other ones that normally wouldn't be. I was showing earlier that I flagged Sky UI. This is actually flagged as a master and an ESL, and Skyrim ESM is the parent master to this. So this also is saving me a spot. It's the only mod that I've ever really done this with. and I know it's safe to do. I've done it in, and you could even check like if you were to follow like the Lexi guide, she recommends doing this. So I've always done it this way, even before I started using her guide. Um, I forget who's somebody had a tutorial on why Sky UI is perfectly fine to do that with. So you get the gist of it though. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and you can run it. You could run it any time just to see like what pops up. Um, Aside from like a lot of these are ESL like patch files, right? And I took Lux out of here because I had Lux. Where is it? I was doing some testing with Lux, but if I re-added Lux back in, you could see. Um, and this isn't even with all the patches. This is only with the patches for the stuff that I have here right now. Forgotten City, Legacy, Live Another Life, Lux Master ESM, plus the Lux ESP, Obscures College, Tools of Kagernak, the unofficial patch, and Worm's Tooth. Um, Lux has a patch for all of the patch files for Legacy, I believe, or at least one for certain things. It has one and or two for all of the JK interior ones, plus a shit ton of other stuff. Like if I let me go reinstall this. Watch this. Ready? And I may use this, but this might be like one of the last things I run. So, well, we want the optional beams for EMB, the mist and fog for EMB, the webs add-on. I don't have any Creation Club stuff, but I want Lux for SMIM. This is where the testing for me off camera got a little dicey because I forgot that if you tick this option for, because I always use Ragnarok and Peltapalooza, but if you don't have these mods in, you're going to see missing textures. It's going to be purple, right? But I would use these anyway. Optimized table, I use something different. I didn't have this ticked. Optimize chandeliers, so you could tick multiple ones here. I use all three because I have SDs for the chandeliers. SMIM and Ruins Clutter. Fireplaces, Ember's XD Tavern, nothing for the Giants. And then these are all player houses. Now it will auto detect them if you have them. Coding room floor, I don't have CRF in here yet. I may not. I am going to use the Great City mods, so you can see all the patches for that. Red Bag Solitude, I really like this mod. This is going to go in my setup. I may use the Rorikstead one. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it yet. I did look at Solitude with my last setup. I liked it. But we may look at Red Bag's Rorikstead as well. Solitude Docks, the Blue Palace Terrace. Then this is just for Arthmore stuff. So you can see just Alt Start. JK's, AIO, all the JK interior mods. Cities of the North, ETAC, Clef J's, Capital City Expansion. Oh, we're done. We're halfway there. Oh yeah, look at all this. Some stuff. This is your Vasker. That's a pretty good mod. What else? Creation Club content down here. Minor locations. Yep. Hey, another page. Great City of JK's Red Bag Solitude. Interesting. Markarth, Riften. This is individual cities now. And then the language. And then install. I'm going to cancel this out because, yeah. Shit. Ton of patches. No, that's the actual mod, Strudel. This is Lux. This is the Lux interior mod. This one here. Just requires EMB light and the particle patch. It looks really good. So the reason why I say like I didn't have it in for testing, I mean I added it and then I took it back out, was it's hard for me to test. And of course I could, deactivate the two patches because the only things that were giving me the purple textures, and I forgot about this, was I ticked Ragnarok and Peltapalooza because I always use those mods. What I should have done is just let it auto detect and go so I could see the interior lighting. It does look better than ELFX, and I don't say that lightly. I still think ELFX is probably the best lighting mod that's been made so far, but Lux, I think, a couple more updates and a little bit of refinement, it'll probably eventually surpass ELFX. The problem is with all these patches for everything can take its toll. Um, I haven't even really looked in to see if anybody said, "Hey, can you just merge all of the?" I'm sure somebody's already asked it. Can you merge all the patches so that it's not, cluttering up your right pane with like Lux this, Lux that, and that's not even the exterior Orbis mod because there is. Where's the other one? This one. Exterior world space lighting. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what I do. Yeah, it's a work on. It's only one mod. He is though. Yeah. The Legacy Lux patch. Yep. Didn't they say it was gonna get an update? I forget which Discord I read it in. Let me see. Or maybe it was on here. Or was I reading it in the posts? It was updated December, so a couple days ago. Let me see his changelog. What's 3.7? They can't be tweaked in EB. Okay, yes, the beams, optional beams in fog. So this is like the very first edit that you saw me do. Really up to date with this mod. Just like how the JK interior mods just keep pumping out. It's like a factory over there. I redid the Novus natural setup, recently. So, and then I looked to see it, and I'm seeing like, well, there's three JK interior mods that either came out or just aren't being used, but for whatever reason, there's three on top of all of the ones that I already had in. And I'm like, shit, he's gonna wind up doing like an interior for every space in the game, I think, at this point. Like what do you do when you move on from like farmhouse and city interiors? What are you gonna start doing, like Nordic ruins, like redoing that? Could you imagine? And it's at points like that where I say, all right, now package that all like into an AIO because I don't want to download individually. It's a pain in the ass. That would probably be some work, but anyway. So we're gonna go with the old version of Ominous, guys. I like I said, I have it saved. Where is it? Ominous here. ENB weather support version 2.6. Like I said, I have a backup just in case. Keep it. There's a couple things in here. Like I said, the Dawnguard landscape overhaul, which you can't get, and the Solstein landscape overhaul, which were by the same author, and I forget who did them. I have copies of those, but can't redistribute, unfortunately. So yeah, let's see who's on. As I said, I was gonna keep it nice and short today. So we're gonna go with Ominous for this. It's gonna be like a fairly concise, very, I don't know. I'm gonna have like a lot of content to do. So obviously, like I said, Legacy's in here. Falscar and Wormstooth are already added in. I'm probably gonna add in Helgen Reborn. I don't have it in yet. That's gonna go in. I'm not sure if I want to do the stuff by Project Hames, like AHO and Carved Brink. I might. I added the Forgotten City. Tools of Kagranak is in there. And I might try some of these other ones that I haven't played yet. If you guys are familiar with Erica the Cat, she streams like early in the morning. She's East Coast time here, like I am. But she likes to do a lot of different quest mods. So stuff like I think she went through Vigilant. She went through the Republic, I can't pronounce it, Maslia, recently, or was doing that, and I forget what she's doing now. But I may add a couple of those in because some of them look pretty cool. But her game, because she's right now doing the tropical She's doing the tropical Skyrim, so it looks different. So I may add some stuff like that in. I don't have JKs in yet. Um, no, and I don't use the EFPS mod. Nope. No, don't use it. I don't really need it. And I don't know if JKs is going to go in here, to be honest. Um, when I was using just Dawn of Sky, like I like Dawn of Skyrim a lot more than I like JKs, but I like the JK interiors. But some of the edits that Dawn of Skyrim makes, um, you do have to patch for. There's some other stuff like some tree mods that I've seen. But we're gonna test some. Actually, here, hold on. Before I go back here, let's go back to Nexus. I'll show you what I want to test. And I have a copy of it. I already did a port. The Dark Forest mod. I absolutely love this. And it's a shame that the Fantasy Forest was hidden. Let me expand it just a little bit because I know it's still cutting off on the screen. I'm gonna have to change that. I love this mod. This is the tree mod I'm probably gonna go with. Uh, it looks fan-freaking-tastic with this version of Ominous. Those of you that have been in a couple of my streams prior when you saw me using this mod, you know exactly what I'm talking about already. Just go to the Morthal area in the marshes, right? And he's got, what's the version I ported over? This is Mobius here. Dark Forest full version, core files and billboards. So you see the file size here, 346. So I already ported this over. I have this saved. Let me see. Let me make sure I have it saved and I didn't get rid of it. I should. What are my mods? I had it. Oh, I could port it again. It's easy to do. I must have deleted it by accident. Okay. What that means is we're going to grab it now. For the hell of it. There. And I'll port it over. Actually, I could probably do that now. If you guys want to see it. It's pretty easy to do. Let me just make a new separator real quick. Let's say trees and bark. I don't know. I'll move the categories around. Dark Forest is Skyrim. I'll just keep it like that, just so I know that it's full version core with billboards in it. Full, yep. But we it's got a BSA. It's a LE mod, so extract the BSA and delete the extraction. So now there it is. It's got a BSL, but you can delete the BSL. The plugin Dark Forest Full has to be saved in the creation kit, so we'll do that real quick. And when you have so many plugins too, because sometimes it doesn't sort them immediately. Like if you go to the bottom, you'll see like it's not the last one here. So what I like to do is I would just hit D for like Dark Forests, and there it is. It'll eventually pop up. Just make sure you don't go past it. Double right click to active. We're just gonna ask if it's hard to fix for us. Nah, not that bad. The only other thing with this one, so this is saving it as Form 44, which you need. Form 43 will eventually corrupt your saves. Funny side note, 2 of the Quality World map mods are Form 43. Most of you probably already know that. If you don't know, now you know. They have to be saved in the creation kit. So the one that I'm using had to be saved. I'm using the Vivid with flat roads, and I believe I'm using the Vivid with flat roads and Vivid with stone roads. Both have to be saved in the CK. But they're as easy as just loading up and saving. So you can see this is done. Just hit File, just hit Save. And then Creation Kit should close. The error goes away. Alright, so since it's not in a BSA, you have meshes and textures. You can run it through CAO. I'm going to do a two-step process with this because this is just how I handle things. I did say I was going to show NIF Optimizer, right? So I'm going to browse. This is for the meshes only, right? Go to my mods, go to Dark Forests, and just click on the meshes folder. Right, that's all you want. Select the folder. If you need to check the binary again, just come in here and make sure it's the meshes folder at the end. Leave everything alone. You're not doing anything with head parts. Never touch that unless you know what you're doing. Leave it alone. Just hit optimize. You can see it working. Now this is a larger mod, so there's more meshes, but see it already printed out a printout of what it did. So if you want to check it, you can. I don't really read this. I just like to quickly go over that it was successful and the file was saved, right? You can go through this whole thing. Obviously, smaller mods with less meshes won't be as in depth as this. Program finished. You want to make sure it says that. I've never had an issue with NIF Optimizer. Cathedral Assets Optimizer is another option. It would be SSE. I do have the Lexi profiles in there, but I'm not going to use it for this. So you do kind of the same thing. Open your directory. You would go to Dark Forest. But now you want to select the whole mod because this does everything, right? So select it, right? It's not in a BSA. We do not want to create a BSA. I keep this particular mod in loose files because I'm going to have some other mods that overwrite it, and I want to be able to go into MO2 pretty easy to either hide or delete files. Sometimes I delete, but most of the time I hide them, just so that I can easily go back in and revert them if I need to. If you're comfortable doing the deletion, and because if you delete it, then you'd obviously have to reinstall the mod to gain the files back. Whereas if you just hide it, it's the exact same thing, but if you need to revert it, you can go back in and undo your work. So we're not going to put this back into a BSA. We're not going to extract it because it's not in a BSA right now. The meshes have already done, but we're going to just keep this as is. Process meshes, necessary optimization. You can go into this more. I only choose necessary for this particular mod. And then textures, just necessary optimization. There is no animation with this. And make sure you select log if you want to check in real time what it does. So we'll just run it through CAO real quick. And it's done. But you can check here. Some mods take longer, and you can see this is all that it did real quick, right? Process complete. You want to make sure it says that, and it'll say done, and you're done. That's it. You've just converted this mod over to SSE. You can see it's overwriting stuff like the LODs. Probably didn't do LOD might be in here too. Or just HD LOD textures. Okay. And it'll tell you what it is. If you want to go into advanced to get the exact file here, you can. And there are some things with this particular one. Let's go into the file tree. I'll delete this later, but the BSL, I'll just hide it for now. You don't need it. Textures, landscape trees. Yep. What I look for too sometimes is I'll look for if the LE mod has any parallax files. If I'm not using parallax, I'll hide them. If I am going to use parallax, because it's now supported with the last couple of versions of Boris's EMB directly, then of course I'd keep it in. Or if there's a parallax add-on for either LE or SE, I'll probably add that on top. Like if there's a nice parallax bark I want to use with this, like 4K. 4K is another good one. 4K bark, I believe. Parallax tree bark, this one here. So this is another one that I'll test. You just need the EMB series. So because it's supported now in SE, you can, and I'm going to be like all this stuff. All right, so here's for everybody. Nothing in here is really going to be 4K. If there were some 4K stuff that's in Noble, then yeah, they're going to be in there. But everything's going to be 2K or less with this setup. Um, so right here you could see an underscore P file is the parallax file. You would go under, and they're in textures. So they're always going to be in textures. So you can see there's one there for the aspen tree bark, right? Parallax. There's one for the tundra tree. We have one for the tundra driftwood, 01. We have one for Vert's dry bark, 01. And Vert old gray bark, parallax. And that's it. This is a really good mod. Highly recommend it. It looks fantastic. IMO. Maybe not for everybody. Different EMBs, it's going to look different too. Just keep that in mind. So, test it on a base game. Test it with EMB off. Test it with EMB on. Um, you can pretty much run this okay. You could use NIF Optimizer if you want to optimize the meshes. I've never had a problem with though just adding it in. It's one of those weird ones that, for whatever reason, these meshes seem to be perfectly fine on an SE game. But it's going to be probably this combination. So if you were curious about as to what some of the other stuff looks like, uh, we're going to go for the dark, grim, ominous look, pun intended, uh, with the super like fantasy vibe for this setup. But I wanted to have that brooding, uh, like northern feel to the game. Um, Maybe because of the character that I'm gonna wind up doing, I don't know. We'll have to see. This is a really fun tree mod, but keep in mind if you're gonna do a lot of like area edits, you may have to check out and patch a couple things. I'm gonna try to keep it without doing that. If I have to make several patches, I will. But this is probably one of my favorite. Now this is on special edition. Um, the difference that I noticed was that LODs don't seem to generate the same way. I don't know why I have my caps lock on, but there is a ported version by Darshan Do. I think Darshan has retired because they were going blind last I saw, unfortunately. Um, they've done a bunch of really nice mods as well, but you can see this is the SE version, but I think this was taken from an LE game. I could be wrong, but same thing, right? But if you look at the files, there's only the two files here. There's a full version and the full core with billboards. And I used this one and I ran it with Dindulot and I had some issues. Changes vanilla trees to 3D trees and adds new 3D trees. Same as the LE file, but the LE file I found looks better when converted. Um, and even though it's a larger file, it's like that seat of the butt feeling. It feels like it performs better. There's less issues. So I don't know if maybe something happened in the port. You can see the file size is different. Maybe that's just compression. I have no idea. No clue. But yeah. So we'll probably, like I said, we just converted the LE version of this. We'll probably run it with Parallax Tree Bark 4K. But I'm going to use the 2K version. Okay. I'm going to try to keep everything 2K or less. Everything in here. It's not going to be a huge list. Don't expect, but we'll probably run like Tamrielic Grass. I may add in Origin of the Forests. Maybe. I'll have to see if it looks good with it. And I'm going to throw in just the grass add-on from Enhanced Landscapes from the full version. If the grass add-on is in the latest smaller file, then I'll add it from there. I'll have to check that because I'm not going to be using any terrain LOD. I'm going to be generating my own terrain LOD, and Enhanced Landscapes grass add-on actually helps with that. It'd be the same as adding the 1 gig terrain add-on file by T4G. I really can't tell the difference. I mean, his mod obviously does more, but since I'm just looking for the distant grass to, not look like shit, Enhanced Landscapes does the job pretty good with just the grass. So we'll have to test that, see, but we're going to save that for a different stream. Who's on? Who is on? Wow, Meji's got a whole fuckload of people. Jesus. Brandon's on. Mr. B's on. What's Mr. B doing? Oh, he's doing Legends of the Frost. Let's go raid Mr. B. I believe he's just starting this. I think he streamed it earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. Let's go stream Mr. B. Or raid Mr. B. Yeah, he hasn't had to change anything else. Awesome. All right, guys. Really appreciate you guys being with me. I know it was shorter today. My sleep schedule is kind of foobarred, but oh, Dan's rated me. Oh yeah, he had like 3,000 people in there. What's up, Elroy? Welcome in. We're leaving, but welcome in. Yeah, I saw it earlier when I was getting up. Yeah, there was like 2.7K at the time. And I don't know if he's like building a list kind of like I am, but I think his list size was like 56. So I think he's just taking his time with it. Other than that, guys, depending on my sleep, I may take tomorrow off. I know I said I'm going to be streaming over Christmas. It'll probably be relaxing stuff like this. I'll try to get some music going. Um, if you have some time and you feel like joining over the Christmas holiday, whether you celebrate or you don't, I'll be here. I'll be doing it. I'm not expecting a lot to be in here. I'm perfectly fine with that. Um, I just have nothing to do. We'll have dinner on Christmas Day, and then that's about it for me. I have no other plans. If I need a hand with, yeah, Lex, tomorrow, absolutely, buddy. And Beowulf's, good night. I appreciate it. Anytime, feel free to ask me questions. I'm always around. I'm around somewhere. What was that? If you install an older mod, doesn't have a BSA, you're not gonna get the warning. Yeah, I set my MO2 up. I'll show you guys how to do that tomorrow, though. Let's go raid Mr. B, and I will see you later. Peace.